Hello. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I want to talk to you about trauma, but we're going to go deeper than we have before. And we're going to talk about like anxiety and depression and panic attacks. So, being a trauma informed coach, there's a lot of information that I know that is very beneficial, and it's also not something you actually see a lot on the internet. At least in my world, I don't see a lot of trauma informed coaches that, or even just coaches in general, that really teach you like how to really get out of that trauma response. Yes, there are things that you can do with a coach or a healer, because I'm also an energy healer, so I do help my clients with it a lot. But there are also a lot of things that you can do on your own. So understand, when you are in a trauma response, when your body long term is in that fight or flight state, it has been in that state for a long time. It took a lot to get to where you are, to get to building up to where you do have things like depression, anxiety, panic attacks, disease, especially like autoimmune disorders and stuff like that. So it is something, this is not just a one and done thing. It takes daily, consistent work to get out of that trauma response. So I was in one for a very long time. I was heavily medicated on Zoloft, which at the time I was on it, I was on the highest dose the FDA approves for anybody to take. Okay, now I'm 5 foot and about 110 pounds, and I was taking the same amount that like a 6 foot 300-pound man would take. It was that bad. Like, it was bad. If I can get through it and I can heal it from my body, you can too. I also really struggled with anxiety, and I would get a lot of panic attacks often. And I had like two or three, I forget now, it's been so long, like 2 or 3 different anxiety medications. And like I had a pill form, and then I had a liquid form, because the liquid, your body absorbs it a lot faster. And so like when it would like suddenly kick in type of thing, I would take the liquid one. But then I also had a liquid one that was a higher dose for when I would start getting those panic attacks. Like, I was very fucking medicated. Very medicated. So when I learned a lot of this stuff and I was able to get my body out of that response, like, I realized how beneficial it is and how little, like, I was on my own personal development journey and like trying to work through my shit and be better for probably close to 3 years before I came across a coach that was trauma informed, that could teach me how to get my body out of the trauma response and living in that response. Because when you're doing the personal development work, you can only go so far before your body like basically steps in the fucking way and keeps you from going any farther. And that's what I was having a problem with. I kept hitting a wall. The funny thing is, my daughter was struggling with anxiety, and we tried different things, and that's how I really got into like the energy work and everything. But it's also when I found my very first spiritual mentor, and I was learning all this spiritual stuff. And she had a 6-month diploma course to be like a spiritual mentor or whatever, and I actually did it. So technically I'm a certified spiritual mentor, but part of it was learning to be trauma informed. And I tell you what, I learned so much in that program, but that was probably the most beneficial piece that I learned. I've also studied a lot. I didn't just learn from her, because I have studied a lot on like psychology in the brain and neuroscience, the metaphysical, like all kinds of stuff. So it was really nice, especially going through the spiritual diploma course, because I learned the science behind that stuff first, which made it easier for me to get behind, not by, get behind like the spiritual stuff, because you don't see all of it. But it, like, quantum physics, all of that, I was reading all of that before I actually learned like how to use it. So I had an idea, but I didn't know much on the trauma stuff. So there is a big misconception that I hear a lot when it comes to trauma, and so many people have it in their head that it means something major happened to you. Now, in my case, it was very true. There was a lot of shit that I went through growing up and early adulthood and stuff like that, but it doesn't have to be something big. It is how your body responds to something that makes you feel not safe, or that your boundaries are being pushed. A small child, when we're very little, we think our parents are like the best thing ever. Because, I mean, we cry and they feed us. They change us. Like, we don't have to do anything. They do everything for us. They feed us, they clothe us, they bathe us, like they brush our teeth, like they do everything when we're really little. And then as we start getting older and we start like learning to do these things for ourselves, there comes a time where we do something we're not supposed to, because we've all done it, and our parents like yell at us. Like, whether it's them panicking because we're about to do something really fucking stupid, or it's because we're doing something wrong that we're not supposed to be doing, and we get caught and they're angry and they yell at us. That body reaction of like the first time you get in trouble by this person that you have sitting on a pedestal, your parent, that can do no wrong because they're amazing, you hold the same trauma response as somebody who is going through different types of abuse or a bad car accident or something like that. So it's not, I call it big T and little t, because the big T, like the big things that most people think of trauma, we do kind of hold on to those more, and they are deeper wounds than just getting yelled at. But you can hold trauma in the body just by having an argument with your husband or wife or partner, whatever. It's understanding what it is. So emotions are energy, and when an emotion is triggered and created in the body, when we don't feel through it, we trap it. So it could be something big, it could be something little. Unfortunately, we are taught from a very young age to do it. Now, when we're first born, think of like a small baby, they might cry for a couple minutes and then they're over it. When your kids are 2 and 3 years old, oftentimes they will get upset because you tell them no, they can't have candy or they can't have that toy or whatever it is, and they cried out for a couple minutes and they're over it. That's how it's supposed to be, because they processed through it. Then it gets to a point as a child, it's not so much acceptable, like in public, to be upset and crying. I mean, nobody likes to hear it. We all know that. Nobody likes to go shopping at the store and hear somebody else's kid throwing a fit. Like, I get it, but what we do as parents, and oftentimes we are stressed out and overwhelmed as a parent, and so even at home, like, we try to stop it. Like, here's a toy, here's your favorite TV show, have a snack, things like that. So what we're doing is we're teaching them to cut it off. And men, especially, are raised, so many of them, like almost every man I know was raised this way, that like men don't cry. It's not okay to cry or feel your feelings. That's a girl thing, or whatever it is. And so men especially, I feel like oftentimes get a lot trapped in their bodies because of that, because they're not processing it and feeling it through. When we're doing it as to the children, then you grow up doing that. If your parents tend to give you food, you grow up and become an emotional eater. If your parents tend to give you a toy, or you're at the store so they buy you something, guess what? You grow up and become an emotional shopper. You're upset, so you go shopping because that's always made you feel better. The problem is you've trapped that emotion, so yes, you feel better in the moment, but guess what? It's dwelling inside of you, and it's going to keep triggering over and over and over again. And the more compounded emotions that we have in the body, because remember, it's energy, so you're actually trapping energy. You are creating stuck energy blocks in your body, meaning your life force energy, the energy inside of your body that needs to flow. It needs to flow easily, effortlessly, and smoothly for your functions to organ, for your immune system to function, for your brain to function properly. Like it needs to be free flowing for your body to work the way it's supposed to. Our bodies are designed to heal themselves. So when we trap emotions in the body, we're cutting off the body's ability to heal itself and process these emotions. So the more we build up, then we create things in the body like a weak immune system, and then we get very sick with disease or an autoimmune disorder. An overwhelmingly buildup can cause you to struggle with depression, anxiety, panic attacks. Like anxiety and panic attacks come from like a big ball of energy in your body that needs to be let out, is what it is. So like when I was going through this, when I would start to feel the anxiety kick in, I would work out or go for a walk or do something to move that energy through the body and to process it and release it. That was a great thing that really helped me move it through. And we're going to go over some of this stuff today. And I'm going to teach you some things, like beneficial things that you can do on your own at any time, anywhere, that are going to help you. Okay? Because you don't want to be living in that. So the other thing is, when these things happen to us, at the same time, depending on what the situation is, our mind creates beliefs. Whether it's we got in trouble because we did something wrong, your mind might create a belief that you're bad or you're not good enough or whatever it is, and it hangs on to it in the subconscious mind. Now, I've said this before, but just in case you're new, I'm going to say it again. We have over 60,000 thoughts in a day. We are only aware of 5% of those. The other 95% are running in the subconscious. So what happens is, hold on, let me backtrack. The other thing about the subconscious, it does not know the difference between real and fake. So you can have a body physical reaction and create crazy fucking beliefs by sitting on the couch watching a scary movie. It's why when you watch a movie and the dog dies, you get teary-eyed, because it's your body and your brain are reacting as if it is happening to you. So understand, when we trap these emotions and we create these beliefs, now they're stuck in our body. They're playing out. So what it does is, as we go through life, different things happen that trigger that same emotion that we have trapped, or it is a similar belief. Maybe maybe you trapped something to do with not being good enough. And then another time something else happened, and again, you're not good enough, So maybe something happens, maybe you didn't get the job you want, or, somebody broke up with you or whatever it is, and your mind goes to, I'm not good enough. Okay, well, now we create a loop. Because when we create beliefs, it creates a neural pathway in our brain. And it goes through a cycle, which I'm not going to go into here because we'll be here forever. But it goes It goes through a cycle in the body, a process in the body, and it literally becomes part of your cellular DNA. It starts creating its own cellular structure, all of that. It literally becomes a part of who you are. You can get rid of it, though. You don't have to live with it, okay? So don't freak out, okay? So as you go through life, one day something happens and that belief gets triggered. So what it does, your subconscious is, think of it like a computer, and it stores all of these things, and it has different files for different emotions and different beliefs. And so, oh, I'm not good enough. We're going to open the file of I'm not good enough. Oh, every time we feel I'm not good enough, there's anger attached to it, or there's sadness attached to it. So now it sends a signal to your body, and it triggers that anger and that sadness that you've had every time you have that belief, and you start feeling angry and sad. And it could be something stupid. It could be watching a movie and that belief is triggered, and you don't even realize it, because a lot of times when we're watching movies, like if you're really paying attention to the movie, like you're really into it, you're watching it, you're not on your phone, you're not talking to your kids, your spouse, or your friends, or anything like that, you get into kind of a hypnotic state. And so that is like the brain is really just absorbing it. So that hypnotic state, it's called a theta state. And that is the same state that they get you in for like hypnosis to change your subconscious beliefs. And we're going to get more into that later, because it's one of the things I'm going to teach you today. How to use it to your benefit instead, like on purpose, instead of doing this shit on accident, okay? So then when all that stuff gets triggered, now remember the trauma is, it's a lot of it is safety. It's because we didn't feel safe. So if you have this stuff stored in your body, what it does is when that trauma is triggered, it triggers your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight. We are not meant to be in it long term. People also call it survival mode. So it triggers your survival mode, and we are not meant to be in it long term. However, if you have, excuse me, I have the burps today. If you have a shitload of these beliefs and a ton of trauma and emotions stored in the body, stored in the body, then you are, what it is it's constantly re-triggering that fight or flight. So you are living in that survival mode, and that is when you have things like anxiety, panic attacks, depression, autoimmune disorders, because our body can't heal the stuff out of it on its own to keep those things from happening. So because these things are going on, your fight or flight is triggered, and the longer you're in that state, the more it just keeps re-triggering, because now it's activated, it's triggering other beliefs subconsciously that were created from another trauma or another response, another time you trapped the emotion. It's creating a different belief, which is sending a signal to your body, activating other emotions. That's a lot of times people end up having like a panic attack. It's because this loop is going on, and it's triggering a whole shitload of beliefs and a shitload of emotions that are trapped in your body. So living in that state, that's where people really struggle with safety and trust and sitting still. Like you see a lot of people that have been like diagnosed with like ADHD because they can't sit still. And oftentimes it's because their body's living in a trauma response, because they can't. Like, you're always looking for a way to survive moment to moment. Your body is literally living in the past. It is living as if those things that happened 20 years ago are happening to you right now, is what it's doing. So your body and your mind are literally living in the past while you're sitting on the couch watching a movie, perfectly safe in your own home. Nothing going on. You're just watching a movie. Maybe you're not. Maybe something did happen. Whatever. You get the picture, right? Okay. So it's living as if like all this stuff was happening and living in the past. You don't want to live in the past. You want to live in the present. You don't need to worry about the future because that hasn't happened yet. The past is in the past. So you can't change it. But we need to get your body back to the present is one of the key fucking things. And we are going to get into that today. So when your fight or flight, your sympathetic nervous system, when that is not activated, which if you've lived in survival mode long term, that one's rarely ever activated because, you know, you got all the shit going on. It's keeping you in survival mode. Oh, that's what else I was going to say. When you were in survival mode long term, I'm having trouble with my hair. When you were in survival mode long term, it literally shuts off parts of your brain. Like parts of your mind, like we all have the ability to daydream and fantasize and like, what would my life be like if this happened? You know, and a lot of times you can't do that in fight or flight because the only parts of your brain that'll work are the ones to keep you safe. Survival, food, shelter, get out of here, run, stop, drop, and roll, whatever it is. Because what is it? Technically, it's fight, flight, or freeze. So you're always looking for an exit. You're always looking for a way out. You see it a lot in people who can't stay off their phones. Like when you go to dinner with a friend and they're constantly checking their phone, oftentimes they're in that survival mode. Like they have to know. Like because they can't sit still is the problem. They can't sit still. They have to be doing something. They can't just be present and have a conversation with you like we are right now, a one-on-one conversation. So when we are able to kind of close that down, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest. That is our normal state of being. And yes, rest and digest, meaning like digest food, nutrients, things like that. When your sympathetic nervous system is activated, your body is not getting the nutrients it needs, and a lot of people have gut problems. You know, it's whether it's you throw up a lot or you can't handle foods or you get the shits. You know, like I used to have all of that. Trust me, I used to have all of that. I had all kinds of health problems from it. And it does not help that the medication that they give you, does it help? Yeah, it helps, but it also causes like 10 other problems in the body. So if you can release it and get your body functioning the way that it's supposed to, guess what? You no longer need those medications. And then, you know, you can live a normal fucking life the way your body was designed to live. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay, so the fight or flight actually lives in the prefrontal cortex of your brain. That's in the very front of your mind. It is not fully developed until you're 25. So it is very easy to cause all kinds of problems in its development. You see it often, especially nowadays where they're like all these medications that they give kids, even like Tylenol and things like that are really horrible for the development of that part of the mind. It's your organizational skills, your ability to process emotions is in the prefrontal cortex of your mind. It is also your ego. It's where your ego grows. Your ego is meant to keep you safe. So yes, it is handy. However, if you allow it to run amok and take control at a young age, which most kids do, it is very hard to get away from it. It takes control over you. We have the ability to control our mind. I know some of you, that might be hard to wrap your head around, but it is true. We do. Like now, I still, after all this time, like I will still have stuff come up because healing happens in layers. Okay, so it's not like you like spend 6 months addressing this stuff and then it's gone forever. Like, it happens in layers. Other stuff comes up, whatever. So it's kind of a never-ending journey. However, once in a while, like, I'll catch like a limiting belief or something like that come up. The thing is now I don't let it run wild and create a story in my mind. I recognize it like this, and I can sit down and shift it like this. So within minutes of it popping up, it's out of my mind. It's gone. It's no longer a belief. And if I have any question or doubt or anything about whether it's still there, I muscle test. I just repeat the belief and I get a yes or a no because it tells me if I believe it or if I don't. My hair is seriously... It looked very cute earlier, and now it's just being weird. Okay, so the thing is, the ego is meant to keep us safe, right? However, when we don't take control, it is active all the time. So what does it do to keep us safe? Well, it keeps us limited. It keeps us from going after that dream job because, oh my God, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? That's all ego. Now you got to remember, the thing about the ego, everything it tells you is a bullshit story and an illusion, and it is not fucking true. It is your choice to listen to it and believe it. The more you let it play out, the more it turns into a belief, but you can shift it like that and get rid of it out of your mind. Thank you very much, but not today. Okay? So, it's also very sneaky. So, when you catch yourself judging people, ego. That's your ego. Anytime you, like, tell yourself, I've taught in other videos how to tap into, like, your intuition and your heart and stuff like that to see, like, the true desires of your heart. So, say you have this dream job and you're like, and they have an opening and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to take the chance. I really want to apply for it because this is what I've always wanted to do. Like, it is on your heart. You know with every fiber inside of you that this is like your dream job. It is what you want more than anything in the world. Okay? That comes from your heart, your soul. So then any belief, any and all beliefs that tell you why it won't work, why you won't get it, why you're not good enough, you don't have enough education, experience, whatever it is all from your fucking ego. All of it. Say you have a person that you care about, and everything with your heart tells you like they are amazing. This is like, I want to be with this person, whatever. And then your mind starts telling you stories like you're not good enough, you don't deserve them, you're a fuck up because you've made mistakes or whatever it is. That's all fucking ego. The desires that are on your heart are there for a reason. Now understand that dream job doesn't necessarily mean that is going to be your lifetime career. That dream person doesn't necessarily mean it is going to be your soulmate you spend the rest of your life with. But they are meant to be there for a reason. Maybe that career is a stepping stone to what you're really going to do, like your real purpose in life. Maybe you're going to get there and you're going to learn some stuff, and then you're going to have an amazing opportunity that is a million times better than what you could ever imagine possible for you. And the opportunity came because of somebody you met through that job, and the skills you have from that job and other things that you have done previously is what makes you perfect for the opening at this new place. Maybe that person, maybe you were like me, where I had a lot of really shitty relationships. Okay, so maybe like putting myself in that position, maybe that person is the person that's meant to teach me how to be loved and how to love, because obviously what I had in the past wasn't good. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're my soulmate, but maybe like we're meant to help each other heal and open our hearts to be the person we're meant to be for our soulmate to come along. Does that make sense? Sometimes maybe it is your soulmate, sometimes maybe it is your dream job, sometimes maybe that it really is that thing, but it could also be a stepping stone. But any belief that comes up that tells you like, well, what if it doesn't work? What if you're not good enough? You don't deserve it? All these things, that's all fucking ego, and it's all fucking bullshit. The desires of your heart are there for a reason, because it is meant to be in your life, whether it is for a lifetime or a season. It is there for a reason. And so I always teach my clients, follow your heart, because that is what is meant for you. And when you follow your heart, that is going to lead you not only to a much better life and amazing experience, but that's going to lead you to grow, because every time you follow your heart, you are detaching more and more and more from your ego, which is what you want. We're not meant to live being controlled by our ego. Thousands of years ago, they didn't. Like, the rise of the patriarchy system and the rise of the ego go hand in hand, because the ego's about power, control, force, push, all that stuff. And I go deeper into that stuff. I won't get too deep into it here, but I actually go deeper into that stuff in the Art of Self-Healing Masterclass that is available on my website, by the way. Okay, so that's kind of how it gives you an idea of how you know the difference between your ego and your heart. So another thing that I teach clients to do is to just sit down, put your hands on your heart, take a few deep breaths. I teach them how to know if it's a yes or no from your body's response, which you can practice that. But like, you can ask yourself, like, do I really want this job? And if your immediate thought, feeling, whatever it is a yes, then that means it's your heart. If there's a yes, but, anything after the but is from your ego. So I think there's a video on here too about tapping into your intuition. You can close your eyes and take a few deep breaths and start with questions that you know for a fact, like your name, your age, the town you live in, things like that there's no way the ego can sneak in, because it is 100% true, factual. Like, my name is Jody, so I can sit here and take a few deep breaths and repeat my name is Jody or is my name Jody, and notice where you feel it in the body, how you feel it in the body. That is your body's yes. And the more I repeat it, the stronger that feeling gets. Now, if I say my name is Sarah, my name is not Sarah, my middle name's not Sarah. So then I notice where I feel it in the body, because that's my body's response is a no. And so the more I do it, the stronger that feeling gets. So the more you practice doing that, the more you learn the body's response, because the body is always responding to you. Always. So you could be in the store somewhere and run into an old friend, and they could say, hey, let's meet up for dinner next week. And your body's going to give you a yes or no. If it's a no, be like, oh, you know what? I'm busy, maybe another time, or I'll get back to you, whatever it is. If it's a yes, be like, yeah, let's schedule it. Call me, text me, whatever. You got my number, type of thing. So remember, the yes stuff is coming from your soul, your intuition. It's leading you. Maybe you're going to meet the love of your life at that dinner, or a new friend, or whatever. Or you just need that fun time with your friend. You never fucking know. We never know why we're being led this way. We just follow the guidance. That is what we're meant to do. Okay, I need a drink. Okay. So, I got little notes. I always have notes. I'm a note taker. Big time. Okay, so I kind of talked about anxiety a little bit, how it is like an overwhelming buildup is what it is. So a big thing again is like move your body. So I'm gonna go through some things that you can do that'll help you get your body out of that trauma response, and it'll help you with the anxiety, the panic attacks, all that other stuff. And then I'm going to talk a little more about the other stuff. Okay, so understand the stuff that I'm going to tell you is going to help you in the moment. First off, I'm going to say that. It's going to help you in the moment. The more you do it, the more you're training your body to get out of that, because we want to retrain it to be back in that rest and digest. But understand the things I'm going to teach you are not everything that you can do, or have to do, I should say, because you have to go in and clear out that block energy, which is easier to face that stuff, okay? It is easier to face it when you don't have like that trauma response going on, you know, because then your mind is more open and receptive, and you can actually see the bigger picture. You can see different perspectives. You cannot see any of that when you are living in a trauma response. It is very, very hard to see the other person's point of view or understand where they may have been coming from when you are in an argument with a friend or your partner. If you are in a trauma response, where when we get your body out of it, it is easier to be like, oh, okay, I can understand where they're coming from. I can see their point of view. I can see why they thought that or whatever. So we need to get your body out. So we're going to talk about, okay, the first one I'm going to talk about is being present. That's not just sitting here playing on your phone, okay? Present, being present in the moment. That is the key for everything. That is your key for manifestation. Like, everything is about being present. So, being present. Remember, I said your body is living in the past. When that trauma response picks up, when you're trying to get yourself out of that trauma life, when you are dealing with anxiety, depression, panic attacks, whatever, you need to bring your body back to the present moment. So a great way to do that is to do some breath work, which I'm a huge fan of the 4-8 breath. That one is my favorite. I do all kinds, but that one is my favorite. In through the nose for 4, out through the mouth for 8. Okay, that calms you. But at the same time, I want you to look around and in between breaths, however you want to do it, try it and see what works best for you. I want you to state what you see. So start with, like for me, I would start with, I'm Jody. I'm sitting on a chair. I'm sitting on a chair in my room. I'm looking at my computer. I can see my water bottle. I can see the mirror behind me. I can see the picture on the wall. I can see my window. Like, start stating everything, because what you're doing is you're taking control of your mind in that moment. So it's not just running amok, doing its own thing. It's now focusing on what you're looking at, because what you tell your mind is important is what it looks for, right? So we're using this to our advantage to bring it back into the present moment. So I am Jody. I see this. I see a water bottle. I see my phone. I see my glasses case. I can see my perfume. I'm surrounded by makeup and shit, so I can see all kinds of stuff right here. I keep going, but you get the picture, right? It's really good when you're having panic attacks, especially. Start stating what you see. Even if you're sitting in your car, if you're at your job, just, I'm in my car, I am on the road, I am doing this, I see this, I see this. Just start stating what you can fucking see in front of you, and bring you back into that present moment. And Keep doing those breaths and bringing yourself back into the present moment, and it'll help calm your system and your body, because it's like, oh yeah, we're not actually in that anymore, you know? So bring it back to the present moment. Move your body. Here's one of my favorite things. Okay, I do this every morning. I'm very glad that the way my house is set up, no neighbors can see me, because first thing in the morning, I probably look like a crazy woman. It's fun. So what I do is I turn on some music, because you got to get the energy flowing. I mean, it's your life force energy. The more you clear this stuff out, I'm not kidding you, the more energy you have through the day. Like, you get so much done in one day because you can't sit still, but not because of anxiety or ADHD. It's like, you're just like, oh, I need to do something. Like, I can't just sit and watch TV for hours and hours and hours. I can't, like, I have to take breaks when I film these recordings. What should take me, like, say maybe 2 hours, if I'm filming like 2 of them or something like that, takes me a little longer, because I have to get up and move my body. And you notice that's why I kind of move a lot when I'm talking in these things. It's because, like, I have this energy that needs to move. So what I do is, first thing in the morning, oh, wait, before I tell you, one more thing. The more you get this energy flowing through your body, it taps you into your feminine flow. Now, I know there's going to be some guys watching this, so let me just make something clear. I'm not calling you a woman. We're saying that you want to be like one. We all have masculine and feminine energies, okay? So the masculine is the doing. It is structures, system, working, things like that. Things you do. The feminine is the being. Like, who are you being? It is your emotions. It is your intuition. It is your creatrix power. So what I mean when I say that, we have the ability to create our life, create, magic and miracles, and manifest whatever the fuck we want. Like, if we can dream it with our heart, like if it's on our heart, we can manifest it and create it and do it and be it or whatever. But that comes from your feminine energy. That is your creation. You're birthing your dreams and goals into existence. It is also our receiving energy, because ladies, we all know we are like built to receive, okay? But that goes for men too. Not that you have a vagina, because I know you don't. But the receiving energy is your ability to receive the things that you are trying to manifest. A lot of people have their receiving blocked, and that's why they try to manifest their dream business or job or partner or more money or whatever it is, and it doesn't come in, and it's because they're blocking it. Whether it's from the ego telling them stories about why it's not going to happen, or that it can't happen, or you're not good enough for it to happen, or whatever it is, or maybe you've cleared all that shit out, but your receiving energy is blocked because you don't feel safe to receive. Now, here's the thing. Those types of wounds, like the struggle, it's also your sexual energy, by the way, is the feminine energy in the body. Those wounds come from your mother wound and sister wounds. And I don't mean like an actual sister. I mean like girls that are your friends create sisterhood wounds. Okay, so if you don't have a sister, don't think that that doesn't count for you, because it does. Okay, we all have them. We all went through a phase in life where, you know, we weren't nice to other girls. I know for a long time I think I had, I don't know, 3 or 4 girlfriends, and that was it. Other than that, I was like, I prefer to be friends with boys because they're way less drama and they're not catty and they're way more fun to hang out with. But I grew up in the country, so it was like, let's go play in the woods, or, you know, 4-bying in the mud or shooting guns or something. So yeah, the guys were more fun. But we all have sisterhood wounds. We also carry them over from past life and generational stuff. So don't think that you are like, not me. No, you. We all have them. So then the masculine wounds, the doing, the systems, the structures, authority, the anger and resentment we have towards our reality and our life and the world that we live in, those are all masculine wounds. They come from your fatherhood wounds, were passed down from your father's side, like all masculine. Here's another little thing. I know I'm getting off topic a little bit. Here's another little thing. If you have feminine wounding blocking your receiving, and you also have masculine wounding from your father, and I mean, these wounds could be as simple as your parents were emotionally unavailable, and so you didn't get that love, nurturing, structure, stability that you needed from them as a child. Like, it's something that simple. It doesn't mean that your parents actually did something to you. It's just like, my dad never did anything to me, but growing up, he was kind of emotionally unavailable. I'm pretty sure my daughter was like 2 or 3, something like that, the first time my dad ever told me he loved me. Like, and my sister was there, and we were both shocked, and we're like, Dad, are you okay? Like, are you dying? Is there something wrong with you? This was like 10 years ago. He's fine. But it was just one of those things that we didn't hear it growing up. It's not that he didn't love us, but in his family, the men didn't say it and express it and show it. That creates a masculine wound because we didn't have that loving, safe relationship that you should have with your father. My dad is a wonderful man. You know, he's a good man. He's a great dad. He's a wonderful grandpa. We're actually very close. You know, we talk often. He's always there for me. He's not a bad person. But that does not mean that I didn't have masculine wounding because I didn't get the things I needed as a child, meaning from the relationship aspect. So, when you have those, money is energy as well. Like, being available for money, like, you have to be on the same frequency, the same energetic match. So if you have masculine wounding, guess what? Money is masculine. Because everything from the 3D reality is masculine. All that kind of stuff. It is part of the system and the structures that we have. We have to have money to survive and pay our bills and eat food and all these other things. It is masculine. If you have a masculine wound, you don't feel safe in your body because you have to feel safe in your body to receive what you're trying to manifest. So if you have these masculine wounds and you don't feel safe, you're going to have trouble calling it in. Now, if you work on that masculine wound, but you still have wounds blocking your receiving, you're still not going to receive it. You can have a healthy masculine, a healthy relationship with the masculine and still not be able to get it. So that's a lot of the energy type work that I do with my one-on-one clients. So I'll stop talking about it now, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. So, now where was I? I forgot where I was now. I talked about, moving your body because it gets you in the feminine. So what I do in the morning, I don't mean just get up and move your body a little bit, go for a walk, work out for 5 minutes. That's not what I mean when I say move your body. You gotta do it like a mad woman, like I do. You turn on some music, let your body just, I like to close my eyes and just let my body start moving with the music and just fucking get lost in it. Whether you're just slowly moving or you turn on something more upbeat and you're just dancing around, like, fucking get lost in it. Get lost in it. Take 10 minutes and just lose yourself moving your body, because what it does, it starts you out taking control over your ego. Because you're not allowing it to start telling you stories and bullshit first thing in the morning. You are taking your power in that moment as soon as you wake up. You're like, fuck you, I'm in charge. So you get into that feminine flow. You're busy, you're present in the moment. Your mind is not thinking about a damn thing. that is one of the key things to master, is learning how to control the ego, which I teach in my self-mastery program. So move your body. Okay, I've talked about this a million fucking times, and I will swear by it until the day that I die. Journaling, get the shit out of your mind. There's so many things. Here's the thing: when we are born to the age of 7, our brain is in a theta state. It's what I said. They put you in hypnosis where you can change your subconscious beliefs. So from the age of like being born to 7, we're picking up everybody's beliefs. Everybody around us, what they think, what they say, we're picking it all up and we are taking it on, absorbing it as if it is ours. So when you journal that stuff out, a lot of the things really just need to be acknowledged. So there's a lot of your wounds and different things like that you can release just by fucking journaling. Acknowledge it, look for the lesson. Like, what did it teach me? Whether or not it was good. It's not always pleasant. I've had some not pleasant ones. Look for the lesson, accept it, and then you can move on. It can be that fucking easy. I talk about that in the Art of Self-Healing as well. Journal, journal, journal. Listen to 528 hertz music. You can find a shitload of them on YouTube. It calms your body, it resets that nervous system, and it really just opens your heart. It really focuses on, like, that frequency really is meant for the heart chakra. So it really cleanses and purifies the heart. It opens it up. The more that is open and your system is calm, the more open-minded you are, the more loving you are, the more you don't get overwhelmed and stressed out by your kids and your job and whatever else you have going on, because, you know, we all know sometimes life happens and there's just a lot of shit. So remember, your life, the life you live every day, is a direct reflection of what is going on internally. So if you have areas of your life that are just a shit show, it is because you got stuff going on inside making your inner world a shit show. And I'm sorry, but it's true. So, music. Okay, let's talk theta. Okay, now remember, the big thing with the trauma is not feeling safe. So what do? One of the amazing things, this is so fucking simple, so simple, that you can do when you are in that moment and you're doing your breath work, whatever, you can literally just start saying, like, when you bring yourself back to the present moment, bring yourself back to present and start saying, I am safe. I am safe. I'm in my house. I am safe in my home. I am safe in my chair. I am safe in my car. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. You could just repeat, I am safe, a million times. Because that is the thing, is it's that trauma response. It's that safety. You're not safe. You're not safe. So you're telling it, yes, I am safe. Look, I'm in this present moment and I am safe. Another thing that you can do, just working on getting your body out. You don't have to wait for having a panic attack or anxiety or something like that to do it. One of the things that I did, you can go on YouTube and look up theta music and look for one that is 6 hertz. 6, okay? 6 hertz. You have to listen to them with headphones. Listen to it for, like, I would say 6 to 7 minutes minimum, closer to 10, just to get that brain in that relaxed theta state. Remember, that is when your mind is susceptible. And start repeating, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. I do this often, not just with safety, because I don't have to anymore. I'm fully safe in my body. So if you are trying to change your money beliefs, or whatever beliefs you are trying to change, write them down on a piece of paper. After 10 minutes, start reading them. I repeat each one 3 to 5 times, so I never do more than like 4 or 5 at a time. You know, if I'm trying to, like, working on my self-esteem, when I was doing that, I would sit there and say, I love myself. I am amazing. You know, I, like, list off good qualities you like about yourself and, you know, repeat those over and over. Oh, excuse me. Throat's dry. That theta is when your brain is susceptible. You can change your beliefs very easily. I don't have to do it that way anymore. I used to. Now I just do it. I do it in just a couple of minutes. But that's for a different time, not for this time. So you got to get your body out of the trauma response first. But I do teach how to do it super fucking fast and easy, because all this healing shit is meant to be super easy. It was like the stuff that I use and the tools that I use and the knowledge that I use is all ancient wisdom from thousands of fucking years ago. It's what they used to do before the ego fucking ran amok and took over and created chaos in the world. So it's very simple. I teach that in the Art of Self-Healing. So do the theta. Remember, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. Again, with the breath work. So remember, you want to do those things to, like, often. I used to do the breath work often, or just repeating I am safe. I would do it while I was driving, like, all the time. I was very adamant I wanted out of this fucking survival mode. So I was always concentrating on this stuff. That's when I turned notifications off on my phone. So, and I still don't have them on. So for social media, I don't have notifications on. So I don't get overwhelmed when I post something and then I have a bunch of people like it or comment or something on it. Oh, I got the burps. I'm releasing energy. See, that's what happens when you burp, sneeze, fart, all that stuff, poop. You're releasing energy. So I'm releasing a lot of energy because, full of energy, and I'm moving around, so it's releasing all kinds of stuff that's been in there. So, yeah. I still don't have the notifications on my phone. So I have my text messages because clients and stuff like that don't have my cell phone number. So I use Voxer with my one-on-one clients, or we can use like Facebook Messenger if they prefer that. I like Voxer. It's like the Facebook Messenger, except Voxer, if you're doing if I'm sending you a voice memo, with Voxer, you can listen as I'm talking. So you could take notes or whatever, it's kind of nice. Where Facebook, you can't. You can see they're leaving you a message, and then you have to wait for them to send it, and you don't have to do that with Voxer, so I like that one better. I do have my Voxer one on, kind of. It doesn't pop up on my phone, but if I open my phone, it shows it on the badge. Just because clients pay me good money to work one-on-one with me, so they need more access to me than just Joe Blow saying that they like my picture on Facebook type of thing. Oh, and I do the same thing with Facebook Messenger because I get a lot of people message me about working with me too. So I do that, but Facebook itself and Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, I don't have the notifications on there. I don't even have the notifications on my email. I set time every day to check it. Or if I have a few extra minutes, I might check it a little more or something. But I set aside time throughout the day specifically for my social media and all that. The other thing that I do is as soon as I'm done, I clear my energy. So that anything that I picked up scrolling on social media or the news or whatever it was I was doing, be gone. I ain't trying to hang on to other bullshit that I don't fucking need, okay? Oh, ladies. I'm not gonna go too into this one because I know for a fact there's a couple of guys gonna watch it. So guys, just I don't know, go pee or something for a minute. Okay, you don't have to listen to this part. This is for the ladies. Ladies, let's talk women, okay? And I'm not going into this because of the men, but I'm going to give you some basics, okay? We store trauma in our kitty. We have a nifty little tool, I'm sorry to say most men can't find. It is our clit. Its sole purpose is for pleasure. That is the only thing it is for. pleasure. And it has 8,000, 8 fucking thousand nerves attached to it, whose job is to provide us pleasure. That's it. That's all it's for. That's it. Sexual pleasure. Because remember that sexual, sensual, pleasure, energy, all of that is what fuels our creativity. And men can create things, but women can create more. You know, we create life. We create things that they can't do because they don't have the right body parts for it. But we do store trauma in there. So a lot of ways to know you have trauma stored in there. Almost all women do. Sorry to say. Loss of sex drive. A lack of sensation down there. Because let me tell you, when you clear the trauma out of your kitty, it is very fucking sensitive down there. Like, the littlest thing gets it excited. Like, you could be wearing jeans and move the wrong way, and you're like, whoo, where is he? Or if you're single like me, you're like, I got a drawer. Well, it's not really a drawer, it's a lockbox because I have a kid, but I'm like, I need a few minutes to myself. It's time for a little pleasure session because that happened on accident. It's that fucking sensitive. Like, it really fucking is. So if you're not easily excited, you got trauma stored. Also, if you have a hard time orgasming, however you would say that, I guess. So I know for me, I had a lot of trauma stored there, especially being sexually abused. That is like the first place you store trauma from sexual abuse is in your kitty. So, and that was a big one for me because I was molested for years when I was a child. And so, I'm not shitting you. I was probably, I don't know, 25, 26, 27, something like that before I had my first real orgasm. I faked all the other ones because, ladies, we all know how easy it is to fake them. But let me tell you, when you start releasing the trauma, you don't have to fake them. And it don't matter if he sucks, if he's little, if he just doesn't know how to use it, it doesn't matter. You, like, feel it so much that you can have an orgasm anytime, even if he's not good. And you're like, okay, well, I don't care because I got what I needed. I got the release I needed. So, that's a good indication. So like I said, it fuels our creativity, our creation power, our receiving, because we are built to receive. Also, the more you do these things, the more you can get out of your head, out of your body, because if you're stuck in your head and your ego, you can't just sit back and receive him in the moment. And that also keeps you from orgasm and enjoying it and feeling it and all that other stuff. But if you really want to know more about it and really dig into it, I highly, highly, highly recommend my Awaken Masterclass because it's all about that. And we also talk about more about like awakening the intuition and stuff. But yeah, so if you don't have a high sex, like, okay, so I'll just say this. There's days where I have to go have alone time in my room, like 2 or 3 times a day, because I'm just have that much sexual energy that it needs to be used. And so my toys get a lot of use. There's days that I'm busy with other things, and so I do it every morning after my crazy moving session because it releases energy. So I teach you how to release the trauma in the Awaken Masterclass. And remember, I said there's 8,000 fucking nerves. So I've been doing this a long time, and I still don't have all the trauma released out of there, but I tell you what, I've released enough that it makes a hell of a difference. So another thing for me, like when it comes to co-creation for like business and stuff like that, like we plant the seed and then we need to be in our feminine to allow the downloads to come in on what to do for a soul, spiritual led person like me. That then we know what steps to take, and that's how you work smarter, not harder. more ease and flow. Like, you channel and download what is, because your inner divine masculine says this is how you do it. And so then we're not trying 50 fucking things that aren't doing us any good, you know? So, a little session with the toys. I always, always get downloads at the very end of it. Like, when I'm done, I will sit there for a few minutes. I'm like, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is what I need to do. Or, oh, like, I'll have inspiration for a post on social media and then turn around and get clients from it. Like, it gets to be that fucking simple. So, if you want to know more about it and how to release the trauma out of the kitty and enjoy having a sex life again, then I highly suggest the Awaken Masterclass. So, we'll get out of there. Okay, remember, out of the head, into the body. Out of the head, into the body. If you are in your head, your ego is running the fucking show. And there's a whole lot of people, I hate to say this, I see it all the fucking time on social media. There's a lot of spiritual, soul-led people that are actually being led by their ego disguised as their soul, because it is a sneaky fucking bitch. And like I said, anything, your like natural state of being when your ego is not running the show is you are very neutral. It is very much like about love. Like, even somebody you don't like or don't want to be around, it's like, how can I send them more love? You know, when it comes to your business, how can I pour more love into it? Not what can I do? That's your ego. How can I pour more love? How can I be more of service? Like, you're just in this neutral, relaxed, loving state. And let me tell you, when you are in that state and you learn to master it, self-mastery, that is when you can command and create miracles instantly. Like, one day, my mentor, she was doing this program that I was doing with her, and she'd been talking about this one module for like a couple of days or something, and then she was live talking about something else, and and this module was one that I was really looking forward to, and I don't know why. I do now, but at the time I didn't. There were certain things I needed to know. I just knew I felt very drawn to that one, so I was very excited for it. And so in the live, it's like an 8-hour time difference between me and her. So it was like 10 o'clock in the morning for me, which means it was like 6 o'clock for her, which means it was the end of her day. And so she was like, you know, I'm just not going to have time to do it tonight, blah, blah, blah. I will start getting it uploaded tomorrow. And I didn't say anything in the moment, but I was like, I really want her to get at least a couple of the trainings for that module uploaded today because of the time difference. I'm like, I would love to sit down tonight and start going through it. But I also understood, like, she's got a kid and all kinds of stuff. So, it was a group call. So we all get off, and I went to take a walk in nature. So there's like a lake not far from my house, and there's a walking trail around it, and I like to go walk it all the time. It helps clear my head and my energy. Bonus. So I went to go walk it, and then as soon as I got home, I just had this like overwhelming idea to check our portal where she was uploading all of our trainings and stuff into, and she had gotten off the call and uploaded like half of it. And I messaged her, and she was like, you totally manifested that, because I absolutely was not going to upload any of it. I was getting ready to go to bed, and I just really felt that I needed to upload the first few trainings. And I'm like, well, that's because I wanted it and I got it, you know? Or yeah, I could talk forever about that kind of stuff, but that comes from self-mastery. Again, 6-week one-on-one program. Me and you. I teach you all about self-mastery and learning how to manifest and create miracles instantly without doing a million fucking techniques that half the time don't work. Yeah. Self-mastery. Okay, so something that you can do. Remember, it's not just about getting your body out of the trauma response. You have to actually like release the stuff in there. Like I said, some of the stuff may help release it, but you have to go deeper. So there's a couple of things you can do to go deeper. There is 2, not 1, but 2 videos on my YouTube. One is called an activation session, and the other one is called the healing frequency. Both of those are a recorded healing session, basically. So you can sit down with the intention of like, what is causing my anxiety? Like, what is causing like this belief? Like, whatever it is, like, do one of those. And they're free. They're right there. They're available anytime. Do them not as often as you want, because when your body's in trauma response, you're going to have a purge period. So you're going to have like a day or two where you're going to kind of feel shitty. Because your body's literally like, you're unblocking this energy. Your body's literally purging it out. There are times I threw up. There are times where after a session, a little while later, I had the shits the rest of the day. I'm sorry, but it's true. And it's you're unclogging it is what you're doing. Your body is purging it out. Be prepared for that. So in the beginning, don't do them every day. Do a couple times a week, something like that. And then when you start not really purging, now I can do a session on myself. And because I've already done all the deep work, like when something comes up, I can do a healing session on myself. And a lot of times, a little bit after that, I'll feel tired and I can lay down and take a nap for like an hour. And then I'm like it never fucking happened. I'm just up ready to go. I'm like, whoa, let's go. What are we doing now? So I highly recommend that. If you don't feel comfortable doing it on your own, because remember, trauma can get triggered. If you don't feel comfortable doing it on your own, I do one-on-one sessions. And I know how to watch for the body. I can see when that trauma response is kicking up. So when we're doing a one-on-one session, when I see that happening, I will pull you out of it and bring you back to the present moment. Get your body calm, neutral, relaxed before finishing. So what normally might take an hour, for a session might take a little longer. The recorded ones are not an hour, so don't think that. Because in a one-on-one session, like, we talk about it before and after too. But so if you want to do a one-on-one session, I do offer individual sessions if you just want to try one. And then I also do like a 6-call package. You get a discount for purchasing 6 at a time in the bundle, and you also get Voxer support. So you can do that on the website. They are the quantum energy healing sessions. And then, because, like I said, our body is designed to heal itself. So you got to get the trauma shit out of there, and then you don't have to do as much work. And then again, the self-mastery. If you want to learn self-mastery, 6 weeks, one-on-one, me and you. You're going to learn a whole lot of shit. It's got weekly calls and Voxer support, and you learn a fucking lot. And because of the energy frequencies that I use the 2 strongest, most powerful healing energies that there are. Not everybody uses them. Not everybody has access to them. I do. Which is why my clients get such massive transformation, because we are healing and releasing on a fucking cellular level. Even the recorded ones on YouTube, you are healing it on a cellular level. You're releasing it on a cellular level, which means it's done and gone. Okay? So you can do that. And then if you would like to learn how to just do it on your own, then I highly recommend the Art of Self-Healing class. It is 3 calls, so you don't get all of them one-on-one, because you need to really understand and process the information. So it's like dripped. You get one, and then a few days later you get the other one, and then you get the last one, and then you have everything that you need to know to be able to do it all yourself, including being attuned to the energy frequencies that I use. And I explain them more in the Art of Self-Healing Masterclass. So you can check that out as well. And all of it is available on my website at jodiokason.com. Super easy, simple. I like things simple, not complicated or overwhelming. And I think that was all I was going to say for today. I went a little over. I was going to try and keep it under an hour, but I mean, we all know I can talk. So there you go. You got some bonus stuff even. Okay. So, love you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.